Another day, another dollar. Thank the Lord for another 24. God, I knew that was you. I'm finna head into work here in a little bit. Quick video, correctional officer video. I'm talking about responding to emergencies within the prison. You know, your body alarm goes off. You got an inmate fight. You got an inmate that may have fell out having a medical emergency. Staff assaults. You got an inmate on you coming at you, trying to stab you or assault you. I'm going to go over some things that should be going through your head when these events occur. Working in a prison or working in a jail, you're at some point, you're bound to run into any of those scenarios. Certain prisons have a tendency for those events to occur more than others. You know, like a high security prison, a penitentiary has a more propensity for violence to occur within that facility. You know, you may have more inmate fights, more inmates getting stabbed because it's a lot more politics. You got higher security level inmates, you know. So the first thing, as far as say you got an inmate on you, you get into it with an inmate, an altercation, you got to take an inmate down or the inmate coming at you. If the inmate coming at you, trying to assault you, stab you, attack you, your number one objective should be to do everything you can to get that inmate off of you because your safety is the number one priority. You know, I don't care if you got whatever you could grab, if you got to grab the stapler to hit him upside the head, if you can't reach your OC to spray him, your baton or taser, if you can't get none of that, all bets are out the window. Like I said, your safety is the number one priority, man. Make it at home in one piece to your family, coming in and going home how you came in. You know what I'm saying? So you got to do, if you got to grab the broomstick, the computer, keyboard, slap them with, whatever you got to do to get them up off of you. You know, we got the prison I work at, the BOP, we got certain measures in place, you know, like the phone. If you knock the phone off the hook and there's a ringtone for 30 seconds, it automatically goes to control and they call a no dial. It's like a no dial. And that's a possible way you can alert, you know, the control center if you in an emergency. Most facilities have like a button on your walkie-talkie that you hit. It's like a body alarm. That's in the event, like I said, you're getting assaulted. You had to take an inmate down. You need backup. You hit that where I'm at. You hit the button for any reason. Control's going to get on the master control, and they're going to get on all the radios in the prison. They're going to be like, control to all available radio units. Let's say you got into it. You got an inmate assaulting you, you know, or whatnot. Well, anything like that. You hit your button, it's going to go to control. Control's going to be like, control to all available radio units. We got a body alarm in whatever unit, whatever area you're at in the prison. And it's going to go to everybody that has a walkie-talkie turned on. It doesn't matter what channel you on, the medical channel, the correction officer channel, facilities channel. It goes to every radio. Everybody comes running. Okay. So let's say you got an inmate fight going on in your unit or in the rec yard. You work in the rec yard. You got an inmate fight. What do? You see them fighting. Your first thing that you should be thinking that's going through your head is to get on your walkie-talkie and call it in to control. Control, I got a fight on the rec yard. Control, I got a fight on A unit or whatever. You know, that's going to let control know what's going on. The next thing, too, that you should be thinking is, are they just fighting with their fists? Does one of the inmates have a knife, a shank, a weapon, a homemade weapon? You should be conveying that information to control as well. Control, I got a fight on my unit. Inmates has weapons. Weapons involved, stuff like that. So people know what they're running into, your backup. You know, if you end up having to spray the inmates, you know, they won't, you tell them to stop fighting after you called it in. You tell them to stop fighting, they just keep going. They're not stopping. They're not hearing nothing you got to say. The inmate stabbing the other inmate, he getting it in. They fighting, wrecking. I'm talking about like they boxing, and you end up spraying them. You whip out your OC or something, end up spraying them. You should convey that on your walkie-talkie as well if you think you know to do that. Control, we got a fight on A unit. OC has been deployed. That way people know running into it that OC has been sprayed. You know, a lot of people don't like to deal with OC. I don't like to personally deal with OC because, to be honest, the shit affects me worse than it does the inmate. I remember I had a fight one time. I was working a mental health unit back a few years ago, and I hadn't even been there. It was on the day shift. I hadn't even been there fucking 20, 30 minutes, man. I'm sitting in the office talking to the orderly that works on the unit. He's in charge of cleaning up. Out the corner of my eye, I see a whole bunch of commotion. So I look, it was this young black kid. He was whooping up on this older white man. I don't know what the beef was or what was going on. So I get up immediately. I got a fight on my unit. Boom, I run out there. I'm like, yo, break that shit up. Knock it off. They kept going. Man, I whipped out my OC, man. You would have thought I was spraying some weeds in the damn outside on my patio, man. I sprayed that whole I aired that motherfucker out, man. You know, I felt bad at the end because I was trying to get the younger black kid, because he was the one that was the instigator. He was, you know, whooping up on him. I was trying to get him to stop, and I tried to spray him, and the way the shit happened so fast, it was like, I think he had him in a headlock punch on him. He turned towards me, and I ended up spraying the older white man. So I was like, damn, I done messed up. You know, he done got his ass whooped, and I accidentally sprayed him. You know, but it was what it was. You know, backup came. I was an escort, man. Like I say, that OC affects me just as bad as the inmate. I was escorting one of them to the the lockup. I started coughing, man. Got that snot running down your nose. I'm like, man, you sweating. That damn OC ain't no joke, man. Be prepared. All my potential hirees that's thinking about correction, going through the hiring process. Depending on your agency, you may have to get sprayed with the OC in the academy. So be mindful of that. Be prepared for that. When I got on with the feds, we don't get sprayed at the academy. But when I worked the county jail back in the day and I went to the academy, we had to get sprayed in one eye. It was like, the part of the training was you hold one hand over your eye, and the instructor, the sergeant, he sprays you in your other eye, and then you got to run and do an obstacle course. You got to run to one station, fight off somebody for like 10 seconds, like simulating the inmate attacking you. Then you got to run to another station. I forget what you had to do over there. Then the last one, you got to run down and you got to handcuff somebody. Then you done, man. That OC, that damn hit to the face had me messed up for about 3 days, man. And don't, when you done, you think you washed it all out, wait till you get in the shower and take a shower that night, man. That shit gonna run down and it's gonna sting down there. Trust me, I know. But y'all, when that OC in the air, man, I still try to do my job to the best of my ability. You know, you want to be functional to the best of your ability. You know, even when the OC is deployed, you know, you're going to cough. You're going to have snot running, tears running down your face, sweat and coughing up a storm. You still have to be able to perform, you know, to break up the fight or possibly save a co-worker's life that's getting assaulted by an inmate. You know, that's not an excuse. Some people, man, they running. It's a body alarm. They running. Next thing you know, the person that's on that unit, they get on the radio, OC's been sprayed. You see people running. You see them start to slow down. Or you see some people start to walk away. That's not acceptable, man. You still should respond and do what you can to the best of your ability, man. You know, because you will want somebody to do the same for you. You know, if you in there fighting for your life, you got an inmate on top of you trying to stab you. You know, you doing everything you can. You just sprayed them. You finally able to get to your walkie-talkie and hit your button. You know, maybe get on their side, spray. Oh, see, I got an inmate on top of me, man. I send help. People running, man. You would want the other people, your co-workers that's responding, you know, to be running as fast as they can get there so they can help you out, help save the day. You know, what's some other situations that may happen in that's an emergency situation? You got an inmate fall out, medical emergency. That's a big thing, especially at the prison I'm at now. It's a medical facility, so we got a lot of sick inmates. You know, so it's pretty common for inmates to fall out all the time. You know, having seizures or some kind of diabetes, get real low. Man, I've been in plenty of situations where I've been directly involved in medical emergency. I had to actually save an inmate's life last year, man. He had 2 heart attacks in the shower that I was working on the unit. So I had to go. He was still in the shower when I got over there. The water was running and everything. I had to put some gloves on, pull him out the shower and start doing CPR. You know, I called for medical assistance. You know, I had to do CPR till another staff member came. They came like a minute or two later. They took over with the CPR. The nurses finally showed up. You know, they put the AED machine on. That's like that shocks your heart, They shocked him like 10 times. I think it was like towards the end of the shift too, man. I was getting ready to leave. It was like 30 minutes till my relief showed up. So that goes to show you, man, when shit happens, it happens quick, and it doesn't matter what time of the day it can happen at any moment. I've had shit go down on night shift, man. I remember maybe about 6-8 months ago, I'm working night shift. We counting the inmates, making sure, everybody there, you do your counts throughout the night on night shift. We weren't even 20 minutes into the shift, man. We hear all this screaming on the unit that me and my partner that I'm working with. We hear all this screaming and commotion. We like, what the fuck is going on? We go over there, man, inmate high out his mind off that K2, man, screaming, acting a damn fool on the unit. It's like lights out, so it's dark in there. Most of the inmates are asleep, man. Everybody waking up, man. We go over there, see what the fuck going on, man. And it got to the point, long story short, we had to take him down to the floor and call for assistance, man. This is like 20 minutes into the shift at 12 o'clock, 12:20 at night, so it can go down at any time, any place, man. I remember having to go in on a cell extraction on an inmate at 3 in the morning, man. I remember when I worked back in the day at the county jail, it was New Year's Eve. We had to put like 3 people in the restraint chair, where it's like a chair. It looks kind of like the electric chair, but you restrain their hands and you restrain their feet, man. When they get out of order, disruptive. We had that night, they in the lockdown unit, man. This county jail work, they flooded the whole unit, kicking the doors all night, tripping. We ended up putting 3 people in the restraint chair. 2 of them went in the restraint chair. 1 of them went like in the basket. It's like one of those medical, like the ambulances or somebody might carry people on. It's like a stretcher. We had one, but you restrained to the stretcher. You got to have your hands and your feet restrained to that too. We had like 3 people, man. Crazy fucking night, man. I remember, I missed them days back in the day working in county jail, because we used to rock and roll, man. That county jail shit, man, you can expect damn near every other day, man. You're going to be fighting with inmates, dealing with some drama, man. You got people coming in off the street high out their mind. That's another thing too, man, that's going around, that's pretty rampant in the prison and jail system. These drugs that's getting in here, man. These drugs are getting more powerful and powerful, man. These dudes, they taking these drugs, man. They doing crazy shit like spraying rat poison on sheets and somehow like pieces of paper, and they dividing it up and smoking the shit. Like, motherfuckers are smoking rat poison, man. And it's like they're going to a whole nother level as far as getting high. I'm like, an inmate gonna be an inmate at the end of the day. They're gonna do what they do. Prison's gonna be prison. But I'm like this, how high are you trying to fucking get, man? It's only so high you could get. It's like they trying to get high enough to meet God. I don't know. But yeah, these drugs are pretty rampant. So when you run across inmates, that may be under the suspicion or they are high out their mind, don't take no chances with them. Make sure you call backup, control. I got one that's high. He appears to be intoxicated off of drugs or whatever, just so you got some backup, man. Because these dudes, when they on them drugs, they on that stuff. And this shit, man, is like, I don't know what the fuck they putting in this shit. It's like crack cocaine times 10. I don't know what but I done seen dudes, man, they get Superman strength. They just tripping out, man. They're not in their right mind. So make sure you got additional staff if you confront or you come up on an inmate on your unit that's high, shit like that, man, because you want to be safer than sorry, Other situations, emergencies that may occur in a prison. I had a suicide back when I first started working in corrections, man. I had a dude, I was only 5 months on the job working at the county jail, night shift. I'm a rookie, 20 years old, man. I'm still in college, man, working a night shift. I'm going to go ahead and try to find a job in my field. I studied criminal justice, so I was like, one of my professors recommended me to apply to the county jail. So I was like, all right, I tried it out. I'm 4 months on the job working night shift. I'm doing my rounds. The next round come around, man, dude, he tied the rope to his string, like a shoestring around his neck, tied it to the door and sat down right behind the door. So I'm walking, got my flashlight. I'm doing my rounds, making sure everything good. I go to his cell. I look in there. I don't see him. I'm like, what the fuck? He's not in the bed. I don't see him nowhere. So I look over in the window of the cell door. I look down. He's sitting down, like he had to speed out and he's sitting like right behind the door, facing away from the door. So I'm like, I didn't know if he was reading a book at first or what. It was like the lights was out. So I knocked, like, yo, what's good? No response. Yo, you all right? He ain't even moving. So I'm like, fuck. So I'm working with a partner, another CEO. They're in the tower. They're in charge of all the doors. It's like a control center in the tower for the unit I'm working. I'm on the floor. They work up in the tower. They're in charge of pushing all the buttons. So I get the tower officer's attention. You know, they watch me do my round. I'm like, yo, I wave by the cell door. That means I want them to open this door. As soon as they open the door, he flopped out, deader than the mug. Face purple and blue. He was gone. Neck string tied around his neck, man. It was like cinched in there, man. It was like his neck. It was an inch deep in his neck, man. He was gone. And I had never seen no shit like that, man. I panicked. You know, this was my first time working corrections. You know, I'm a rookie. And personally, outside of that, I never seen no shit like that. So I panicked. You know, I ran. It was on the top tier. I jumped over his body because his body fell out in front of me. You know, the stairs was behind him. So I ran. I fucking jumped over his body and ran off the unit. I'm fucking running up the hallway. I finally get my composure and get on the radio. Yo, we got a fucking problem up here. I need some assistance up here. And I think I was working in A unit. So that was A8 was the name of that unit. Yeah, the shit was crazy, man. But you may possibly come upon somebody that's committed suicide, a suicide attempt. If you see somebody attempting suicide, you know, get on your radio. I need assistance. I got a suicide attempt on my unit. Let them know which unit you're working. You know, do what you can. If you got like a cut down tool, they starting to issue us cut down tools on the unit because suicides, you know, they're pretty rampant these days. Try to cut them down. Do what you can. Hold his legs up till help comes. Try to save his life, man. That's your job as a correctional officer, man, to preserve life and, you know, to maintain a safe and orderly running of the institution, you know. You see other staff member getting assaulted, all bets are off. Your co-worker getting assaulted, I don't care what's going on, man. You should do everything you can in your power to save the day, get them out of trouble, get them out of harm's way, you know. While at the same time, if it's multiple inmates, you know, you should try to jump in there, get them out of harm's way. Like I said, spray whoever you got to spray, grab a broomstick, fucking chair, anything, man, because at the end of the day, our safety is the number one priority working in the prison, man. Staff safety is the number one priority, man. You know, next after that is the inmates. You know, if you got an inmate fight and shit, and it's just you, it's 2 inmates fighting on your unit, 3 inmates, 4, and it's just you, ain't nobody else in the unit, you call for assistance, you know, to your unit. It may take 30 seconds to a minute. Let them fight, man. Let them tire each other out, man. Don't be the hero. Try to jump in the middle of all that shit, then you get messed up, or it could be a possible setup. You got to think of every scenario. That could be a possible setup. They could be goddamn plotting, hoping that you jump in so they can all jump on you. You got to think like that working in prison. It's a thinking man's game. They got 24 hours to come up and scheme and all that type of shit. So you got to think how an inmate would think, you know. Don't never jump into the middle of a fight, man, no matter what, man. If an inmate, you know, if it's a real serious fight, you know, another inmate getting stabbed to death, something like that. Like I said, don't jump in the middle of it. You got your OC or a taser or a baton. Try to spray the other inmate, try to get them to stop. Grab a chair, maybe try to, you know, push the inmate off the other inmate, but don't never jump in harm's way. Don't never put yourself in harm's way. Because like I said, at the end of the day, it's all about staff safety and you making it home how you came in. Y'all like this video, make sure you subscribe to my channel at The Ghetto Bodybuilder. Follow me on Instagram, TikTok at The Ghetto Bodybuilder. I have merchandise for sale. Shop with me on my website, www.theghettobodybuilder.com. Every shirt, hoodie you see on my website, I personally designed myself. So anytime you buy some merchandise from me, you personally support my creativity, my vision, my passion, me putting my thoughts onto a hoodie or a t-shirt, man. But yeah, those are some of the main situations that's going to arise in a prison, you know, as far as emergency, inmate fight, inmate stabbing, staff getting assaulted, medical emergency. Oh yeah, when you running, you say you responded to an emergency too. You running down there. We carry a lot of equipment on our belt, our duty belt. You got all kind of keys, walkie-talkie, handcuff, taser, pepper spray, baton, shit like that. Anytime that you respond to an emergency, and the situation is being quailed down, it's under control, always get into the habit of patting yourself down. Make sure you got all your equipment on you, because the last thing you want is for an inmate to possibly get your OC or get your keys or something, and you don't know about it till like 3 or 4 hours later. So always get into a good habit. Anytime you respond to an emergency, a fight, inmate stabbing, staff assault, when it's over with and the situation is under control, make sure you pat yourself down and you got all your equipment, baby. Y'all know how we coming. Let's get motivated.